Real issues, real life, real talk about a real God with the real sisters. And while some things are new, there is one thing that will never change. You're loved, chosen, beautiful, and enough. Welcome to Real Talk Today.
Hey, it is your girl Be Real, and I am checking in with another moment in the meantime here with your midweek push. Hope y'all are doing all right. Hope everything is going the way you want it to be going, all that good stuff. I've been thinking about Isaiah 40 and 31. In the King James Version, it says, "But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary. And they shall walk and not faint." And I was thinking about this verse, and I was thinking about how important it is for us to wait well. That's literally the entire intent behind in the meantime, is that we would learn to wait well. We would learn to um, just be okay with God's proper timing in our lives. But even with that realization, and even with that um, being a main driving force in my life on a daily basis, what I encourage people on a daily basis to wait well, we still have to remember that there is an appointed time when the waiting will cease. There's an appointed time when what you're waiting on will be in front of your very eyes. Okay? So I say that to say, um, when things start happening in our lives, and I believe Kristen mentioned this maybe last week for the midweek push, when things begin to happen in our lives, we often start to side eye it, or we often start to apologize for it, or we often just start to wonder, like, is this really, is this it or no? And it's because sometimes we've waited so long on a thing that we've just gotten comfortable in the wait. And when waiting time is over, that can often launch us into a season of discomfort, because what we've been waiting on, it requires a new level of responsibility. It requires a new level of education. It requires a new level of submission, um, a new level of surrender, right? Um, Transitioning into something new, while it's fun and while it's exciting, it can still kind of, come with its own set of challenges. And so, for that reason, we often get stuck in the wait. And so, when God begins to mount us, it's weird for us to understand what's going on. And we have to look at the scripture, because honestly, this is a scripture that most times when people quote this, it's all about you waiting. Hey, they that wait upon the Lord, they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. It's been used as a scripture to fully encourage one's ability to wait. But one thing that God was just showing me is that if you look closely at this scripture, it says those who wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. So as a result of waiting, you can expect renewed strength. Okay? As a result of waiting, you can expect to mount up with wings like eagles. With with the wait, at some point you should expect to be able to run without getting weary. You should be able to walk without fainting, because it says those who wait upon the Lord shall renew. They shall mount up, right? We got the waiting part down packed, but we don't fully understand that part about us mounting up. You're going to mount up at some point. At some point, what you've been waiting on, whether that is a business, or whether it is just your dream job, or whether it's finishing school, or whether it's getting engaged, falling in love, finding the special one, whatever the case may be, or whatever it is you have been waiting for, you have to understand that at some point there is a result to waiting. There's something on the other side of waiting. And when it's your time to mount up, you have to be okay with the fact that, hey, I'm shifted to a new season now. And what we often do, we mount up and then we don't understand, why am I flying? Is it okay for me to be happy? Is it okay for me to be excited about what's going on in my life? Absolutely. Take a second and enjoy the fact that you have indeed waited well. So if you have mounted up, if God has you in a season of winning, he has you in a season of really experiencing some things that you've been praying for, this is not the time to doubt that. This is not the time to wonder if it's real. This is not the time to wonder when the bottom is going to fall out. But this is the time to mount up. Like, you're up and you're flying, and that's okay. You don't have to worry about what's going to go wrong, because this is a result of waiting. This is the full scripture. This is the this is the scripture here. Don't just stop at they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. But know that, no, really, because I have waited, that's why I'm strong. Because I have waited, that's why I'm mounted up. Because I have waited, that's why I can run and not be weary. Because I have waited, that's why I can walk and not faint. These things that I am now experiencing is a result of waiting. Okay? So I don't want us to get so stuck in the wait, get so used to waiting, that when it's time to mount up, we don't know how to mount up because we're just so used to being still in one place. Okay, God doesn't have us waiting just to wait. We're waiting on something great. We're waiting on what he wants to do. We're waiting on the promise to be fulfilled. We're waiting on prophecies to be manifested. You're actually waiting for something. So don't get don't get too stuck in the idea of waiting that you forget that you're waiting for something. And when that something happens, you're sitting there looking crazy. Okay, it's okay to mount up. If you're flying right now, fly. You don't have to apologize for it. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to apologize if you're able to go to the store and buy what you want. You waited for a moment like that. You don't have to apologize for being in love. You waited for it. You don't have to apologize for getting degrees that you worked hard for. Because it makes maybe your success in this season is making someone else uncomfortable. Don't apologize for it. You've waited. Now, just because someone else is still in their season of waiting, that doesn't mean that you can't be in your season of being mounted up. You know what I'm saying? So that's the midweek push. That's what I have to say today, is that, hey, we wait. In the meantime, we wait well. But at some point, we get what we wait for, So, yeah, that's what I have for today. Pray that it's blessed you. Pray that, it made a little sense to you. If it resonated with you, or if you want to chat more about it, shoot me an email, itmt@brittneyreal.com, and I would love to chat more with you about this. All right, but yeah, just remember, in the meantime, you're loved, you're chosen, you're beautiful, you are enough, and wait well, because eventually the waiting turns into experiencing. All right, and you don't want to ruin that experience still stuck in a waiting mindset. Like, if it's here, it's just here. Bye, y'all.
Thank you for tuning into this week's episode of Real Talk Today with Vanya, Chris, and Be Real. In the meantime, trust that there is grace to mend the broken pieces. And as always, remember, you're loved, chosen, beautiful,